Hello everybody, it's Josie here. I am doing a book review today. So this is for a brand new released book, one that has been on my absolute anticipated list for ages now, when I first heard that it was being written and released. And the book I'm talking about today, and I'll say that my shirt is a clue, the book I'm talking about is this one over here, is Slayer by Kirsten White. Now, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I've mentioned this a few times before, is my absolute favourite TV programme. I'm very much kind of a teenager of the 90s. Love Buffy. I still have it on a DVD box set and watch it continuously. So when I heard that Kirsten was writing a book based on the Buffy kind of universe, I was in equal parts incredibly excited and incredibly apprehensive, because it is something that I love, and whenever you desperately love something and someone kind of messes with it almost, it can either be a good or a bad thing. So I was incredibly excited. I was on the pre-order. I got this, I think actually the day before it officially released, and I read it straight away. So, you know, I needed to know. I needed to know what was happening. But I will say I did go in with a little bit of apprehensive feelings, kind of going, oh my goodness, is this actually going to be good? Is this going to ruin Buffy forever for me? Happy to say that is not the case. So, synopsis of this book is that so if you've watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV series, where it ends, Buffy has to save the world, as she normally does. And then the premise of this book is it starts after that event. So Buffy has saved the world, but Buffy's also ended all magic. So in effect, there will be no more Slayers. So there was a whole bunch of Slayers called before this event where Buffy had to save the world. And now, as far as the Watchers believe, so this one is set kind of in the Watcher universe, there are going to be no more Slayers. So the Slayers that are out there, Buffy, all the other ones that are out there, those are kind of the last of the Slayers. And we focus on a group of Watchers who are also the last of the Watchers. And it is, so the book, they don't like Buffy very much. So even though she did save the world, she also ended magic, she also ended the Slayer line, loads of people died, many Watchers died. And the characters in this book, they don't like Buffy. So your main character, so that was a bit kind of weird for me to get my head around. They kept really slagging Buffy off in the beginning of this book. I was like, how dare you? But I get why, and you know, it gets better. So your main characters on this book are twins. So Nina and Artemis. So they're both Watchers-ish. So Nina is considered kind of the weaker twin. Artemis is considered the strong one. She was in line to be a full Watcher. She is the protector. And Nina is the medic, really, of the Watcher group. And she's there to help and save lives. But all her life, she's been very protected. Artemis has always been very protective of her. She's always felt like she was the weak one and Artemis was the strong one. Now, I don't want to go into any more of the detail of the story, because if I do, I'm going to kind of just spoil the entire storyline, and obviously I don't want to do that because I want you to read the book, or if you do want to read the book, read the book. So I don't really want to spoil the rest of the story. So I will talk about the things that I loved about this without giving away the plot. So A, obviously I loved that it was set in the Buffy universe. B, I actually loved that it was set in the UK and Ireland, which was cool because the original show is obviously set in Sunnydale in California, and this was in the UK and Ireland, which was fun. And they go to Dublin. They're really close to the Irish border, and they go to Dublin in parts of this book. So I really loved that. I liked the characters of Nina and Artemis. I liked the character development, so the characters aren't staying one-dimensional. The supporting cast of characters are very cool as well, and there is some really great queer representation in this book as well. So Nina's friend, he's one of the Watchers, he is queer and he has a boyfriend, very, very sweet boyfriend called Killian, who I love, and I love Killian's character, I think he's adorable. And then you also have a... can I say who? Oh, fuck it. Artemis is also, turns out that she is gay, and she has had a crush on one of the other Watchers for the longest time, ever since she was quite a young teenager. So there's a lovely romance developing there. So I love that. I love that that's included in the book, because if you've watched the original series, Willow and Tara, the two witches in the series, they were gay and they had a beautiful love story, and they're my favourite romantic couple in the whole series. So I love that. I love the mix of kind of going back to the Buffy mythology and mentioning the characters. So you've got, they mention, Angel even comes up very briefly, and they mention Giles, and they mention Wesley, and obviously Buffy gets mentioned quite a bit. And it really, if you're a fan of the show, it really ties it back to the show. Having said that, I don't think you have to have watched the show to enjoy this. So I think as a series, and it does say book 1, so series, there better be a series, and it better come out quickly. So I think as a standalone fun series, you could absolutely enjoy it. I don't think you have to be a Buffy fan or you have to watch Buffy in order to enjoy it. Like I said, there's small references, but the storyline itself doesn't necessarily, you don't have to have watched the series. There's a lot of action. It's really fast paced. I was never bored for a single second. It was fun. It is a fun ride. There's a lot of humor. So again, if you go back to the original series, there's a lot of quite sarcastic, snarky humor in Buffy, which I love. Is one of the things I love. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And I think what Kirsten's done is she's put that in this book, so you get a lot of kind of quite humorous one-liners, and I think that really, again, sort of draws the original series back in, but it's also just fun to read on the page. And there's a lot of kind of complex relationships as well, which again is something, you know, friendship and relationships was a central theme, and as I think it is in this. And also that kind of battle between right and wrong, doing the right thing, doing what you're expected versus what you believe is correct. All of those things are kind of deeper themes within the book, even though it's a fun, you know, fantasy, not thriller, but fantasy action kind of packed read that you can literally, I mean, I did read this in 2 days. I just loved it. Yeah, it was a load of fun to read, but also has those kind of themes in it that you can kind of look deeper into that. And also the meaning of humanity, the idea that, you know, demons, because they look a certain way or you're told that they're bad, are they really bad? And I think in today's society, the obsession with how we all look has, there's resonance there in terms of when you look at somebody, you know, is that a good indication of who they are as a person or their character? And the answer is no, obviously. But I think it kind of touches on that as well. Who is the bad guy? You know, there's a great quote from Buffy that is, just because you're human doesn't mean you aren't one of the monsters. And that is so true. And I think it kind of touches on that a little bit as well, which I love. So all in all, I think you can tell where I'm heading with this. I loved this book. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great addition to the Buffy canon, because there are some books that are written, but they're actually like more fanfic books that really kind of use the Buffy characters. But this is kind of a new take on it. It's a fun take. It's a fun ride. I absolutely enjoyed myself. I don't think it ruined Buffy for me. I loved all the kind of throwback references. I loved it as a standalone story. I cannot wait to see what book 2 holds. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun series to read. So this is kind of going to be my new fun series, I think. Yeah, the only thing I didn't like is the cover. I don't know what you all think about it, but no. I wish it was a different cover. But that's just me. Although they did get the colour of the main character's hairs red, so that makes a change. I've seen covers recently where you read the book and you're like, oh, she's a blonde. Oh, the woman on the cover's got red hair. No, in this case, the twins do have red hair. so that kind of works. I'm just not a fan of it. That's like the only thing. But other than that, I mean, all my love to this book. And it's a 5-star read. So it's an absolute smash read for me. Loved it, was not let down. I mean, you know, it does have, it's not perfect, but for me as a Buffy fan, and as a fun, wonderful ride, I loved it. I would recommend it to any Buffy fan. And even if you're just a fan of something fun with action and vampires and some queerness thrown in, it's fantastic. So yeah, 5-star read for me. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Cannot wait for the next book. So let me know what you think if you've read it. Yeah, speak to you guys soon. Bye-bye.